Hi, and once again, welcome to CMP101 Introduction to Computers Online. Again, I am Lydia Mata, your instructor for this course. This is a short video on how to complete assignments. So I've brought up the assignment list, which again, if you're in Web Study and you go to the timeline and you click on the class bulletin, you'll find the assignment schedule listed here. So what the assignment schedule does is lists every assignment, the chapter it's in, the name of the assignment, and the page numbers right in order. So it just has all the assignments we're going to do this through this whole session. So everything's here. The first three I described in the last video. Those were the introduction assignments, and then I've color-coded every other one so that they're easy to see chapter by chapter. So the first assignment you're going to do is Word Chapter 1, Project 1A Flyer. So this confuses people sometimes on where to find this. Again, there's page numbers here, which should help, but this is an electronic look at our book. And I just want to show you as you're moving through the pages here. That the first chapter you see is not Word Chapter 1, it's Windows Chapter 1. So be careful about that. I think that confuses some students. But as long as you pay attention to the page numbers, that should help you get going. So I'm going to jump ahead here and go to Word Chapter 1 here. Okay, so this is where you're going to find Word Chapter 1. Notice I'm on page 119, and if we look here, it says that the Project 1A starts on page 122. So let's move on to 122. There's a blank page there. There's the introduction to the chapter. That's on page 121. This lets you know that in the chapter you're going to find Project 1A and 1B, and you're going to be doing both of those. You can see those both here, 1A and 1B. Okay, so moving on to page 122, this is the start of the assignment for Project 1A Flyer. On this page, you'll find any information about the activity, the data files that are going to be used, and a small snapshot of what the end result's supposed to look like. You are not, the intention is not to create this document simply based on this picture. This is just a picture so that you can compare your finished product to an example so you can see if yours looks the way it should. So if we move on to the next page, this is how the assignment will work out, or at least the A and B assignments. For Project 1A, you start on this next page here on page 123. The exercises or the steps you're completed are actually these numbered items here. So step 1, step 2, step 3, and then as we go forward, we start again with the next activity, 1.02, and there's step 1, step 2. So you're going to complete all the numbered items. Now, that does not mean you should skip over the other reading. You probably want to read all the other information there as well. It might explain some shortcuts. It might be some information you're going to find on the exam, but you do want to read all the information, not just the numbered items. But you're going to continue completing the numbered items all the way through. And it seems a lot longer than it actually is, only because there's a lot of explanation in these in-chapter assignments about what you're doing. So this seems a lot longer than it actually is. You're going to keep going until you reach the end. This is page 137. and it clearly marks the end. It says end, you have completed project 1A. At that point, you'll have a finished product, and you can go back to that first page and compare your document to that document. Once you're satisfied, you can save it and turn it in Web Study. Again, you'll go into Web Study, week 1, project, all the coursework's on the bottom, so there's project 1A flyer. You'll click on that, click on attach files to your assignment, choose the file, attach it, send it to instructor for grading, and submit. So that's what the assignments look like. Now, same thing with the next assignment, which is 1B, the information handout. You'll find that right after this one. So if I keep going forward here, there's 1B. Same thing. It describes the activity, shows you some snapshots of the end result, and then you move through the chapter completing all the numbered items as you go along. Until you reach the end. And again, the end is clearly documented. You'll get here and it'll say end, you have completed project 1B. Again, you'll turn that, you'll save it, you'll want to compare it to the first page where it showed you the snapshot of what your document should look like. Once you're satisfied, save it and turn it in Web Study. So all of the A and B, and notice you do the A and B assignments in every chapter, are going to be found within the chapter. The other 2 assignments are going to be found at the end of the chapter. So for this first chapter, we're doing project 1E. So this is going to be found in the end of the chapter. And if I scroll forward here, they go in alphabetical order. So we've got project 1C there, project 1D, and there's project 1E. This looks a lot like the in-chapter assignment. It gives you a description, the data files, and a snapshot of the document, but it won't have as much description as the in-chapter assignments did. The intention is for you to learn the steps in the in-chapter assignments and then to practice the steps in the end-chapter assignments. So you'll notice this one is all on one page. So you do all the numbered items and you reach the end here at the bottom. So there's 10 items in this particular assignment. Again, at the end, you can compare your document to the first page. Once you're satisfied that you've completed everything, save it and turn it in Web Study. Okay, then you'll do project 1F. So moving forward here again alphabetically, it's going to be the next one. Description, data files, a picture of what the document's going to look like, and then the steps. Again, this one's on one page. Some of them will be on 1 or 2 pages, but they're not going to be as descriptive and as long as far as reading's concerned as the in-chapter assignments. Okay. Pay close attention. You're not always going to do E and F. You will always do A and B, but you're not always going to, the letters on the last 2 assignments will change. For example, in chapter 2 you do 2A and 2B, but then you're going to do 2C and 2N. Again, in chapter 3 you do 3A and 3B, and then you'll do 3C and 3D. So pay close attention. It changes from chapter to chapter, but page numbers are here, and that should help. I really suggest printing this and checking off the assignments as you've completed them. That should help tremendously. Okay, after you've done the assignments from the book, which are these 4 here, every chapter is going to have a chapter quiz. Now this is an open book quiz. You can use your book on these. Okay, the information is going to be taken from the chapter readings, so it might be in some of the side notes, or it could come from anywhere in the chapter reading. So you want to be really familiar with the chapter before you take the exam. The exams are going to be found in Web Study. So if I'm in week 1 and I scroll down to the coursework, here's CMP 101 chapter quiz. You'll click on that and click on Take Exam. Please note that it is timed. I believe you have 45 minutes. And the questions are taken from a large test bank, so no two tests are going to be alike. And it's mostly to grasp the terminology and the things that you read in the chapter. So be familiar with the chapter before you take the quiz. And just as a side note, while you're in the quiz, you want to try not to use the scroll wheel on your mouse. That has the potential to change answers on your quiz, so you want to be careful about that. Also, please note that every question on every quiz only has one possible answer. I get asked that a lot. There's only one possible answer for every question. There's never going to be a question that has two answers. Okay, there's always going to be one. That's how you complete assignments and exams. Also note that there is a PowerPoint for each chapter. You don't have to look at this, but it is. I have had students view those and say that they're very helpful in completing the chapter quiz. So that's just supplemental information there that you can view, so you choose. I hope this answers any questions about how to complete assignments and where to find things. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. Again, email is the best way to reach me. Good luck to you, and I hope this explains everything, and I look forward to getting your first assignments. Good luck.